Hello everybody, MorbTron here. Something a little bit different for you all. In light of Destiny 2 getting cross-save and going free-to-play for the base game October 1st with Shadowkeep and New Light launching, I figured I'd talk about playing Destiny 2 on PC or trying it out if you play on a console. You might be curious if your PC can handle it. I'm going to go over some specs of my PC, and if you have questions regarding your PC, I can point you towards, figuring out what you have and give you a good idea of what you can expect to get out of your PC, or if you don't have one, what you can expect to pay if you're curious on getting into the PC side of things. But as far as the game is concerned, it won't cost you anything. If you want to just try it out, just want to get the base game, that's free. And with cross-save, if you buy all of the content on your PS4 or Xbox One or whatever platform you're playing on, and you want to try it out on PC, you can just get the free-to-play version. You don't have to buy the extra content. It's just you just won't be able to play that extra content on your free-to-play platform, that sort of thing. Anyway, if this series catches on and gets some traction or people are interested, I'll go over the mechanical details in the game, for what you can expect to see difference-wise as far as gameplay goes. Obviously, there's going to be graphical improvements, there's going to be load time improvements, but there's mechanical differences within the game as well that change when you increase things like frame rate and FOV, and going from controller to mouse and keyboard, or you can even use controller on PC, which is still a different, much different experience than using a controller on console. Yeah, we'll get into that here right now. Alright, so before we get into talking about PC specs or anything like that, I want to just make a quick note that console is always going to have a benefit over PC, and that is the price point for gaming on a console versus a PC. Now, granted, if you go out there and buy a console, it doesn't come with a TV, but for $399.95, you can go down to Walmart and grab yourself a PS4 Pro and plug it in and start gaming. There's always going to be that cheaper point of entry, that cheaper price point for gaming on a console versus PC. But PC does have its benefits. It's just a lot more expensive and can be astronomically more expensive if you feel like going off the deep end with custom builds, customizations, and buying the absolutely newest pieces of hardware you can for your PC, which is completely unnecessary, by the way. But I'll get into that a little bit later. So if you are concerned, if you have your own PC but it's a little bit older, you haven't gamed on it ever, that sort of thing, there is a program you can download that won't tell you, hey, yeah, you're good to go game, but it'll at least tell you what you have, and then you can compare it to other gaming PCs out there, and maybe do a little bit of research yourself on the internet and figure out how your PC measures up to newer gaming PCs out there. And that's called Speccy. So it's a program that I've had on my computers for years. It's free. It's non-malicious. Literally just tells you what hardware you have installed, and it also tells you what temperature it's currently running at and that sort of thing. But I'll show you my spec sheet here. So if you know anything about PCs, you'll notice that my CPU, which is the most important part of your computer, is an older generation, much older generation. There's way better stuff out there now. This is what I have, and I can run Destiny 2 at 144 frames per second, no problem, and in menus it runs at 225 frames per second. So no issues here. If you have something that's newer, you're golden, because the most important part about PC gaming, or just PCs in general, is the CPU. It's the brain of the brain of the brain of your PC. Now I have a lot of RAM, but it's an older version of the RAM, so you need more of this older RAM to be equivalent to a little bit of the newer RAM. And I run two graphics cards, but I run two graphics cards because I run a dual monitor setup, and I don't want my secondary monitor, which is only there for having things like Discord and my recording software, or when I'm streaming, it has my stream on it, so I can see chat, that sort of thing. That's the only reason why I have my old card in there still. So I have two graphics cards. One's my old card from a previous build, and one's a new card. They just run their own monitor. So I have a newer style graphics card running my main monitor, runs the video game itself, NVIDIA GeForce RTX 2070, which does fantastic, but it is overkill for Destiny 2. Sorry, I've been, throat's a little dry. I've tried recording this video like 6 times now. It gets long-winded, so I'm going to try to make this not a super long video. But this NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1050 Ti that I have installed here as kind of like a secondary card to run my secondary monitor, ran Destiny 2 at 60 frames per second and above, no problem. It even recorded and streamed Destiny 2 at 60 frames per second, no problem. You know, it did dip below 60 sometimes. For whatever reason, being in the tower tends to drop you below 60. I don't know why. Just little quirky things with the game. But you're not running around shooting people in the tower, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, and then I have a solid state hard drive. That's where my game is installed. That's how you get faster load times on solid states, but you can already put a solid state on a console, so that's at least one thing you can upgrade, is the storage on your console. But that's that. So if you wanted to compare what you have to mine, there you have it. And if you have any questions, I can try to answer them in the comment section down below. I'm by no means an expert, but I know enough to have built my own PCs for years. And if you have, you know, a simple question like, is this CPU good enough? I can tell you yes or no, you know, based on the model, and give you a good idea anyway. But I'm going to make just a couple mentions of price points for entry into it. Now, a lot of the gaming PCs that you see out there, they don't come with your peripherals, or your mouse, your keyboard, your speakers, your monitor, headset, that sort of thing. All that is basically separate. There's no... You can go out there and just buy a complete bundle that has everything, but you might not like certain aspects of the bundle that you're buying. And that's something I'll get into, but basically, for a price point out there for just starting out, anywhere around, like, I would say between like this one, for example, this one's $520. This would be a good example of a PC that can run Destiny 2 at 60 frames per second, you know, without a problem. You're going to be able to do all the things. You might not be able to, like, record and stream at 60 frames per second, but if you're recording and streaming, you probably already have a PC that's able to handle that. So, unless you're streaming from a console, in which case you're already doing that. So, yeah, this has a GeForce GTX 1050, which is slightly worse than the 1050 Ti that I had in there, and that I have in there as a secondary card, but was my primary card for a previous build. Anyway, this is kind of like your starting price point. Now, this is just the tower. This is just the PC itself. There's no monitor, there's no keyboard, there's no mouse, there's no speakers, there's no headset, nada. So that's where, you know, it's a lot cheaper to head down to Walmart, spend $400, and, you know, you get the whole shebang, minus the TV. But, you know, this is a good example of what you can expect to spend just right out of the gate. And if you build your own, obviously it's going to be cheaper, because this is, you know, has a factory warranty, that sort of thing. It's a name brand, it's a Dell, that sort of thing. But as far as like custom PCs go, we'll get into that in a minute. But I wanted to go like, so this is like, you want to build your own PC, you know, the minimum you're probably going to spend is about $400, I would say. But if you want to have a factory warranty on it, you're going to spend about $500, $520, $550. If you want to go absolutely nuts with building your own PC, you can spend $2,000, and it's going to come with, you know, a case, the motherboard, the RAM, the CPU, the graphics card, and it's going to be an absolutely overkill build. This is like 6-7 times the computer that you need to run Destiny 2 at maximum settings. But it's there. You know, the sky's the limit when it comes to building a custom PC. and we'll get into the more expensive versions of this stuff later on as well. But you know, you can go to Amazon even and just search gaming PC. That's literally what I did, and you get this $600 thing here, which is basically, you know, it has a NVIDIA GTX 1050 Ti. It has a good processor in it. It has more than enough RAM. It has a good hard drive. It already has an operating system installed on it. It's good to go. And if you want to step up even more and go like $800, it comes with, you know, a better graphics card, better processor. This one comes with a mouse and keyboard as well, so you have 2 peripherals taken care of. And you know, you can keep scrolling down, and the sky's the limit. I mean, it's only going to go up and up and up and up and up. As far as gaming PCs go, and you get like complete builds. There's also companies that specialize in it as well. Now, the 2 that I am aware of, and I haven't ever done business with either of these companies, but they're just ones that I am aware of through other content creators being sponsored by them. We have NZXT and we have Origin. So NZXT, you know, they have like their website's very, you know, very, I want to call it basic. It's a very nice looking website, but their option packages are very, very well laid out for you. If you want like, you just want a starter PC. $900 gets you a custom built, you know, PC that's designed and tested specifically for gaming. You know, you're going to have 100 FPS in Fortnite at 1080p resolution, that sort of thing. Or if you want, you know, the starter PC but just a little bit upgraded, $1,000, and you'll run at, you know, whatever. You know, it has an updated graphics card, updated storage, that sort of thing, blah blah. But if you want to go like absolutely nuts, they have their streaming PC, which is $1,500. You get up to 130 FPS in Fortnite. They don't have Destiny 2 on here, otherwise I'd say that. But Fortnite, popular game, that's why they have that there. But if you want to go absolutely nuts, and you're like, you know what, I have more money than Bill Gates, and I want to spend all of this money on a PC, you can easily spend, you know, $3 grand on a custom built PC, and this isn't even all the expenses. This is just, you know, basically this Origin PC here is as equivalent to this, you know, self-built PC as I could get. So it's basically like $950 more expensive, and that's just for the warranty that you get from Origin. That's, you know, not having to put it together. This is basically plug everything in and hit the go button, and it's going to work for you. Or you can build it yourself and not have a warranty and save yourself about $1,000. But if you want to go absolutely nuts with these, I mean, you can get custom paint on your PC. You know, you want it to be like metallic pink, and then have, you know, let's see here. Let's go other side panels are going to be tempered glass, and then the interior is going to be, you know, let's say white because reasons, and then the interior lighting's free, you know, already included, the RGB, and then we can laser etch a custom logo or design on the side of the case for an extra $50, and suddenly, you know, you're at $3,100. So, it can get a little bit absurd with, you know, customizing your PC. Basically, the sky's the limit. If you want to spend the money, someone will take it from you and give you a product. So you got to be careful with that. So anyway, we're going to hop back into the game, and I'm just going to hit the play button on my Blizzard launcher here, and you'll be able to see just my load times, like how the game launches, that sort of thing. Can take a little bit for the game to actually get going, especially after I've tried to record this video over and over and over again. There we go. So there's launching. Yeah, I'll show you my graphical settings real quick here and what I get for a frame rate. And this is while I'm recording it as well, so have to keep that in mind. But yeah, like your download times for like patches and things, it's going to greatly depend on your internet. But I know there's an issue right now with Destiny 2 on PS4 having to like copy the files over a couple times. But you'll see here in the menu, I'm at 270 frames per second. 277, 286. You won't notice that on, oh, there we go, I saw 300 frames per second. There's black screen, so it doesn't matter. You can see here in orbit, I'm at like 175, 172. And you're not going to notice that on the recording, because my recording software caps out at 60 frames per second. But basically what you need to know is just the more frames per second you have, the smoother animations are going to be. So if somebody is flying at you at the speed of sound, you know, let's say they're shoulder charging at you constantly, they're a bottom tree striker titan. At 30 frames per second on a console, they might seem a lot more jerky. They might just seem like they're teleporting around a lot more. But at a higher frame rate, you're going to be able to track them easier because the animation is smoother for their movement. So when they're moving super lightning fast, shoulder charging with a Juggernaut Striker Titan, you know, the higher frame rate will help you out with tracking them and that sort of thing, and they'll seem less jerky and teleporty. But I don't have my settings completely maxed out, more so just for higher frame rates, like make sure I get above 60 all the time in Crucible, that sort of thing. My FOV, and this is all stuff I'll go over in another video, if you all are interested in it, going over the mechanical differences in the game once you go from console at 30 FPS to, you know, PC that has uncapped frame rate and a field of view slider and all this other stuff you can customize, and how it changes not only just the looks of the game, because that's of course it's, you know, you have a better machine to process the image, you're going to have a better image. But there are mechanical differences when it comes down to the game as well, with movement and that sort of thing. Even if you're using a controller on PC, there is a very big difference between console and PC. But that's going to be it for this video. Like I said, if you want to see more, if you want me to continue this series, you want me to go over the mechanical differences in the game between console and PC, let me know. Hit the like button, show your support in this video, share it with your friends, that sort of thing. But yeah, this video has been long-winded enough, and this is probably about as short as I can get this video. I'm going to end it here. Don't forget to have a good day, everybody, and I will catch you all next time.